on British Wrestling Weekly, and for the first time ever, Joseph Connors about to collide with the show stealer Nathan Cruz.
And Dave Bradshaw, it may be for the last time ever, because if Connors loses this match, he is gone from NGW forever on the condition of Mark the Beast Lebex.
But if he wins, Alex, he has manoeuvred his way into a shot at Matt Myers' undisputed title.
Being accompanied to the ring by Lilith from the Barracks and Righteous Army, weighing in at 213 pounds. This is Joseph Connors.
Alex, you said earlier on that Joseph Connors is the master at manipulating the minds of everyone he comes across. Well, he may have met his match with Mark the Beast Lebeck. He thought he could make demands, insist on stipulations for this match. But Mark Lebeck was more than equal to it. He called Connors his bluff and said, fine, you can have your stipulation, but if you lose, you are gone.
But if he wins, Dave, as you said, it has made him the new #1 contender for Matt Myers. And with Lilith at ringside, one of the most sinister individuals we've ever seen in NGW, Nathan Cruz goes into this in many people's eyes the favourite, but in my opinion, Dave, Nathan Cruz may be in for a shock against the righteous Joseph Connors.
Introducing his opponent.
Well, one question here as well, of course, is how is Nathan Cruz's mentality after that nearly 2-year undisputed title reign was brought to an end by his best friend 2 weeks ago? Nathan Cruz going to be in action for the first time since that match. And the question here is, can he get back on the horse? Can he get back in the saddle and continue to be the show stealer?
Making his way to the ring from the East Riding of Yorkshire, weighing in at 205 pounds, he is the show stealer, Nathan Cruz.
Well, he certainly looks ready. He certainly looks determined. And Nathan Cruz is going to ensure, if he has his way, that Joseph Connors learns a lesson here he will never ever forget.
But how strange did it look to see the image of Nathan Cruz walking through the NGW entranceway without those championship belts? He held those titles for almost 2 years, and this is the first time he appears on television without them in so long that it almost seems bizarre to not have those belts in his possession.
Connors conferring with Lilith there. Absent, of course, is Liam Slater, who has been forced to become a follower of Joseph Connors. We saw Liam last week and he looked like an absolutely broken man. Such are the psychological, malignant powers of Joseph Connors.
Well, Mark Lebeck has said that all other men are banned from ringside in this one, and I think that was a big mistake, because when you say all other men, you exclude Lilith, and Lilith has proven that she is as dangerous when it comes to breaking the psyches of pro wrestling than anyone in the world.
Well, never mind men, women, I'm not even sure Lilith is human, more of just an evil spirit that kind of lurks around ringside. As Cruz enjoying the full and loud support of this raucous crowd in Liverpool.
And it's very difficult when you have had a wrestling championship or any kind of championship or title in any sport, when you are so associated with that type of accolade, and then to lose it, there is a fear that maybe you won't have the same confidence as you walk through the entranceway. Well, that certainly doesn't look to be the case for Nathan Cruz right now in the Liverpool Olympia.
He's got a smile on his face, but do not in any way underestimate how important this match is to Cruz. If Cruz were to lose this, of course, he would go right to the back of the line when it came to being in contention for another chance to win back that undisputed title.
And interestingly, Connors was smiling at Cruz, and Cruz responded by smiling right back. So far, Connors has been able to get into the mind of every opponent opponent he's faced here in New Generation Wrestling, but it will be a very, very difficult challenge for him to do the same with the show stealer.
That's right, and we saw a little bit earlier how Cruz was already wise to Connor's games, and Connor's tried to lure Zach Gibson into a match. Cruz advising Liverpool's number one not to fall for it. Or an elbow tie-up between Cruz and Connors to start this one out, and both men vying for position here. Connors goes behind. Cruz will counter. Again, the first time that these two facing each other, so cautious start. Both men trying to feel the other man out, try and work out what they're dealing with here.
And Nathan Cruz, many people thought that he would be outmatched in his match with Doug Williams, but Cruz proved he could wrestle with the very best. And I find it telling and interesting that Joseph Connors has decided to try and wrestle Nathan Cruz. Is that another part of his psychological warfare?
Well, maybe that's plan A, but you know, I guarantee you Cruz goes for a cover. Connors will have a plan B. It will probably involve Lilith. They will almost certainly involve some underhanded tactics. If the match doesn't go his way, I guarantee you Connors will have a contingency plan.
And listen to this crowd in the Liverpool Olympia, and it's in this historic building that on next week's episode of British Wrestling Weekly, our main event will be Liverpool's number one Zach Gibson against Rampage Brown, with the winner receiving a guaranteed spot in the Davey Boy Smith Memorial Cup number 2.
So high stakes next week, but equally high this week, because not only a title shot, but Joseph Connors' career on the line here in our main event. Cruz again showing that mat wrestling prowess. Twists the arm of Connors and takes him down.
And we mentioned Lilith earlier, and I truly believe that Cruz is purposely keeping this match in the ring because that ominous, looming presence of Lilith is there, and he has to be aware in the back of his mind. Let's not forget it was in this very building that Lilith kissed Liam Slater in a match, completely out of, it was jaw-dropping to watch, and that directly led to Liam Slater losing against Connors, and that chain of events resulted in Liam Slater being part of Connors' group. So Lilith is just as dangerous as Joseph Connors, in my opinion.
Right, yeah, before that, of course, Lilith and Joseph Connors had been psychologically working on Liam Slater for a number of months. That's how they work, that's how they operate. They will slowly grind someone down mentally, and maybe Connors is hoping that this is the start of that process as far as Nathan Cruz is concerned.
And since Cruz has been out here, Lilith has kept her eyes firmly fixed on Cruz, and every time she does, Cruz looks away. She has almost a hypnotic gaze, and Cruz has to be aware of that.
Again, Connors goes behind into the rear waist lock. Again, just going hold for hold, these two. That elbow, that's one way to get out of that. Connors starting to deliver some strikes to the face of Nathan Cruz.
And Cruz trying to find some space between himself and Connors follows him straight in. Kicks, elbows, and the wrestling has ended, and the brawling has begun.
And this, you've got to think, is where Connors is more comfortable. This style, this kind of brawling, fighting, as opposed to more traditional wrestling. Cruz will go to the ropes here. Ducks the clothesline attempt from Connors, sends Connors to the ropes. High knee, sends down Joseph Connors.
And you don't want to mix strikes with Nathan Cruz because he is so explosive, and Connors is feeling that now.
This crowd in Liverpool helping the show stealer as well. You can see almost in his every movement how he's drawing energy from this incredible audience. Cruz with a drop kick to the back of the head. He'll go for a cover here, lateral press, but only gets a 1.
And you talk about the energy that Cruz draws from an audience. I've mentioned before that I believe Connors is a psychic vampire. He draws the energy from the people that he picks as victims, and Cruz does the opposite and feeds off of this capacity crowd.
Reversal of the Irish whip from Connors. Cruz into the corner. He gets the elbow up. Nathan Cruz, springboard crossbody. The leg is hooked this time. It's still only good for a 2 count.
Connor's in trouble. Very rarely do you see Joseph Connors look in this state, but I think Connors is realising just what he's got in store for him. There is a reason that Nathan Cruz held on to those belts for almost 2 years, and the righteous one is finding out now.
Cruz and Connors, our main event continues after we take our final commercial break. Connors v Cruz for the first time ever here at NGW, our main event. This week on British Wrestling Weekly, and Connors is getting in the face of the show stealer. Cruz will counter. Gonna pick up Connors. A vertical suplex by Nathan Cruz.
Oh, look at that. Cruz blows a kiss at Lilith. It's the first time he's made eye contact with her. And up and over goes the former champion, the show stealer, on the righteous Joseph Connors.
Cover by Cruz, had the leg hook, gets 2. Again, big stakes here. If Cruz wins this, then Joseph Connors' career in NGW is over. If Connors wins, he takes Nathan Cruz's rematch for the undisputed title.
Connors fights back with all he has. And it's just ominous to see Lilith stalking the ringside area. If I was Nathan Cruz, I would be very dubious about making any eye contact with that woman at all.
Cruz putting up a head of steam here off the ropes, both sides, goes underneath, grabs the leg of Connors, and enziguri from Cruz, followed by the neckbreaker. Connors in trouble, and wisely perhaps, Alex, he rolls to the outside to regroup. Lilith is, I guess that's comforting Connors, you could call it that, to the extent that Lilith has any kind of human emotion.
And Cruz, for a moment there, went to go after Connors, and you could see Adam J tell him not to, and I think it's, this is not a good move by the show stealer.
And now he's walked straight into the, what is that? Right into the path of Lilith, I was going to say. And well, it's because of Lilith ultimately that Cruz ended up where he is now, into that ring post, and then against the crowd barrier.
And that was a textbook piece of how Connors and Lilith operate. Lilith is used as a decoy. She gets in the head of her opponent and look, blows the kiss back at Nathan Cruz. Honestly, these two are such a lethal combination in New Generation Wrestling.
Cruz has barely moved since he landed there. Connors is going to pick him up, but he's probably a dead weight at this point. Cruz is, this could be the end of this, Alex, you know. Cruz's rematch for the undisputed title is in real trouble.
But Connors has been a cancer in NGW, and it may come down to the show stealer Nathan Cruz to be the person to cut that cancer out.
Connors has been absolutely ruthless here. He knows what's at stake as well. He's stretching Cruz around that ring post. Obviously an illegal move. Referee is going to give him a count of 5.
Oh, but keep your eye on Connors. Oh, big drop kick to the small of the back. And Connors literally used that ring post as a weapon, even with the drop kick. And look at that gaze. I mentioned it earlier, just the dark stare of Lilith. And Nathan Cruz, she's sinister.
Just right in his personal space there, really just getting in the head of Cruz. To the extent that Cruz knows where he is at all at the moment after this beatdown he's had from Connors.
Connors just putting it in the face of the show stealer.
Cruz is struggling to regain himself here. Elbows to the midsection of Connors. Cruz is fighting like a wounded animal.
But he's still fighting, and that's the main thing as Connors comes back with a huge clothesline. Referee down.
Another cover attempt is a sloppy cover from Connors, and Cruz kicked out. Fact remains that Connors is very, very much in charge here.
And we found out earlier that it would be Liverpool's #1, Zach Gibson, advancing by disqualification in that match with Screwface to take on Rampage Brown in just 7 days' time in the finals of the Davey Boy Smith Memorial Cup knockout tournament for a guaranteed spot in the actual tournament itself. It's going to be history making, and it's happening next week.
Now Rampage Brown, Zach Gibson renewing their rivalry with that spot in the Davey Boy Smith Cup on the line. But right now, it's Joseph Connor's career that's on the line. It's Nathan Cruz rematch for the undisputed title that's on the line. And Cruz with a sunset flip. Only gets two. Connors will pick him up into the backbreaker.
Wow.
Again, that's the same part of the back, the small of the back that Connors has been attacking for the past several minutes.
And look at Connors just screaming in the ear of Nathan Cruz. You often see him talking to his opponents, saying all sorts of stuff, and one can only imagine how venomous and toxic those words are. Oh, it looks like he's biting in there. Is that? Oh, he is.
Biting his ear? He's biting Nathan Cruz. Was Connors. And look, that's the first half smile I've seen on her face.
And one indication of the manipulation of Joe Connors. He screamed in the ear of Nathan Cruz. The referee just assumed that's what was happening the second time, but in fact, Connors was biting on the ear. This guy is a manipulator in every sense of the word.
Might be manipulating the neck of Nathan Cruz with an elbow like that to the side of the head. Snapping Cruz's skull sideways. Cruz is fighting back here. Cruz will try to send Connors into the corner, but once again, Cruz is unable to get up ahead of steam. Connors will go for the cover. He gets two. But Connors is gaining in confidence with every successful shot on that lower back.
And Marla Bet really had it in his mind that the penultimate episode and the final episode of this season of British Wrestling Weekly would be spectacular. And you don't get much more spectacular than the first time ever contest between Joseph Connors and Nathan Cruz, and of course the finals of that tournament between Rampage Brown and Zach Gibson.
Listen to this crowd in Liverpool trying to will Nathan Cruz back to his feet as Connors tries to drive the energy out of Cruz's body, cutting off the circulation.
But Lilith continues to watch under. She is freaking me out, and I'm not even at ringside.
She's something else, is Lilith. I'm not even sure what to make of her.
Straight to the hair goes Connors. Referee Adam J still made the count despite that hair pull. And we've spoken before about Marla Bet's desire to enhance the rule structure in New Generation Wrestling, and we are promised that next season that's exactly what he's going to begin to do.
I think Marla Bet's had an incredible start to his tenure as executive producer here, not least what he's done this week when Connors tried to manipulate him. Lebet really turned the tables on Connors and put his career on the line. I think that is a bold decision.
And what different place would NGW be without Joseph Connors in it? I mean, that's an interesting conundrum, but also, what world would it be if Joe Connors goes on to beat Nathan Cruz and then Matt Myers and becomes the NGW champion? It doesn't even bear thinking.
Cruz finds a way out. Cruz is going to have a couple of seconds to regain his composure here. Connors charges at him, and Cruz sends it to the outside.
And Dave, we are getting dangerously close to the end of our TV time. We have got just minutes left.
Well, we may not need too much longer because Connors is in danger of being counted out here. If he can't get back in the ring and answer this 10 count, Alex, then his career in NGW is done. Cruz pulling himself up to his feet using the ropes. Connors is now back in. Cruz moves out of the way.
Quick as a cat is the show stealer. Charges and head into the buckle of the righteous one. And now Cruz scales to the top.
Cruz off the top. Crossbody from the show stealer. Nathan Cruz feeling the energy of the crowd here in Liverpool.
And he is back in the race. Look at this slingshot off the top. Belly to back suplex in the center of the ring.
Cruz's lower back hurting. He took a second to get to the pin there, and that extra second may be what allowed Connors to get out.
Dave, we are almost out of time. I'm being told that if this match doesn't conclude in the next 60 seconds, we will bring you what happened at the beginning of next week's program.
Well, what a cliffhanger that would be if we don't get a winner here, because Cruz is firing up here. Connors' career in NGW could be coming to an end. Oh, Connors lands on his feet behind Cruz. Now it's Cruz will go behind. Got the shoulders down. Oh, his body weight on top of Connors, and he only got two again.
Oh, and it looks like Cruz knows that we're going off there, because look at the desperation of Nathan Cruz to put Connors away. Here's the rest of his huge kick.
Connors may be unconscious. Connors may be unconscious.
Oh, could this be it?
The cover to end Joseph Connors' career. No. Alex, we're out of time here. We're going to have to bring the conclusion of this match to next week's show, our season finale, which also features the finals of that Davey Boy Smith qualifying tournament. Gibson, Rampage Brown, next week here on British Wrestling Weekly.
Well, Dave, we are officially off air now, so if you're listening to this, it's happening on next week's programme, but in the arena, this one carries on.
And Cruz is lining up Connors, perhaps to finish this, with the show stolen. Got Connors on his shoulders. Connors fights his way out. Cruz on double foot stomp from Connors.
Huge clothesline there.
Yeah, big clothesline. Connors is fighting, of course, for his career here. He's got both the legs hooked. Cruz gets out on two.
And the stakes could not be higher. Connors knows it. Cruz knows it. And so does this huge crowd in Liverpool. Dave, could you imagine a world where Joseph Connors was no longer in NGW, or a world where he was NGW champion? It's unthinkable.
Well, I know it's one of those two I would prefer, but Connors, meanwhile, I saw looking over to Lilith there, looking for some advice, I think, on how he can finally put the show stealer away. Cruz, of course, one of the most tenacious competitors anywhere in British wrestling. But how long can he last against this onslaught from Connors?
Looks like he's going for a pile driver or something here. Oh no, maybe it's that powerbomb into the corner.
Cruz wriggled out, and Cruz, look at Connors counters, counter after counter, both of these guys. Cruz rolls him up. Cruz rolls him up and gets two. Only two. And Cruz dropped Connors. This time, Connors is out. It's out. No. Goodness me, how close were those two near falls for Nathan Cruz?
This crowd coming out of their seats, they can't believe it. And look at Lilith, that's the first time I've seen her move, because for the majority of this match so far, she has stared a hole straight through the show stealer. But in that brief moment, she moved and she looked somewhat anxious. It's the first time I've ever seen that emotion emanate from Lilith.
It's very rare to see any emotion coming from the face of Lilith, but you're right, there was something there. She knows that Joseph Connors has put it all on the line here against Cruz, and his career could be ebbing away in front of her very eyes.
And he's going for that show stolen. Oh, he's up on the shoulders.
Lilith's on the apron. Referee is distracted. Wait a second.
Oh, it's a screwface.
A screwface and a chain. Oh, no, come on.
Oh, Dave, and this crowd is so deafening trying to tell referee Adam J to turn round that they've actually masked the noise of that chain. Oh, not like this.
Cruz is unconscious.
Oh, my God.
Cruz is unconscious, for goodness sake.
Oh, he's going to do it.
No, not like this. Yes. Nathan kicked out.
Wow.
Screwface can't believe it.
And Adam J's now seen Screwface and he's furious. Oh, but Connors has got that chain.
Again, the referee distracted. Connors looking to finish this off and to steal, I do mean steal, Cruz's title rematch. Cruz ducked. Cruz with the kick to the midsection. And Cruz hits Connors. With the chain.
And Adam J's seen none of it. And he's probably heard none of it, Dave. I can hardly hear myself think.
Well, Cruz is in the ring on his own now as Connors and Screwface on the outside. Here comes the show stealer. And that will neutralise Screwface, but it's taken Connors out as well.
And when this is potentially your last match in NGW, you have nothing to lose. And you've got to believe that Joseph Connors instructed Screwface at some point, if the end looks near, come out with that chain, and that's exactly what happened. And look at Lilith moving over to... I thought she was moving over to Cruz there.
Yeah, Lilith is trying to get Connors stirred, and now what?
Oh, what the...
What is she doing?
Oh, Dave!
What? A count? Oh no, referee's called for the back. Don't tell me that's a count out. What? Don't tell me that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match by count out, Joseph Connors!
Lilith! I said she was staring a hole through Nathan Cruz. He was, I don't know, hypnotised or mesmerised. Did you... Oh, God, Connors is going to get the shot against Matt Myers.
Well, Joseph Connors' career in NGW continues, thanks in large part to Lilith. You're right. Cruz looked into the eyes of Lilith, and for just a moment there, Nathan Cruz didn't seem to know where he was. Bizarre developments here in the Liverpool Olympia, as Nathan Cruz has lost his rematch for the undisputed title to Joseph Connors.